I welcome you to this session of ISO 45001 2018, and today we are going to talk about clause number 5, and under this subclause 5.1, leadership and commitment. So first of all, as usual, I will read out the requirement to you as given in the standard. Top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the occupational health and safety management system by, there are 12 points in this, A, taking overall responsibility and accountability for the prevention of work-related injury and ill health, as well as the provision of safe and healthy workplaces and activities. B, ensuring that the occupational health and safety policy and related occupational health and safety objectives are established and are compatible with the strategic direction of the organization. C, ensuring the integration of the occupational health and safety management system requirements into the organization's business processes. D, ensuring that the resources needed to establish, implement, maintain, and improve the occupational health and safety management system are available. E, communicating the importance of effective occupational health and safety management and of conforming to the occupational health and safety management system requirements. F, ensuring that occupational health and safety management system achieves its intended outcomes. G, directing and supporting persons to contribute to the effectiveness of the occupational health and safety management system. H, ensuring and promoting continual improvement. I, supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it applies to their areas of responsibility. J, developing, leading, and promoting a culture in the organization that supports the intended outcomes of the occupational health and safety management system. K, protecting workers from reprisals when reporting incidents, hazards, risks, and opportunities. L, ensuring the organization establishes and implements a process for consultation and participation of workers. Bracket C 5.4. M, supporting the establishment and functioning of the health and safety committees. C 5.4E 1. And there is a note, reference to business in this document can be interpreted broadly to mean those activities that are core to the purpose of the organization's existence. So that's all in this requirement, and now let us discuss the requirement in more detail. See, the top management has got to demonstrate their leadership and commitment with respect to the occupational health and safety management system. Now, this demonstration of commitment can be done in so many ways. By providing resources, by allocating people, by ensuring their qualifications, by providing the necessary resources, ensuring that the processes are carried out according to the laid out procedures and work instructions and things like that. So the top management has to demonstrate the leadership and commitment with respect to the occupational health and safety management system. And this can be done. Let us go step by step as per the requirement given in this standard. A. Taking overall responsibility and accountability for the prevention of work-related injuries and ill health, as well as provision of safe and healthy workplace and activities. So it is the top management's responsibility to ensure that the workplace is safe and the workers are provided with necessary equipment and safety equipment, as well as the workplace is safe for the working of the people, and not only the workers but also the visitors and outsiders and anybody who is available and present in that place. So it is the responsibility, overall responsibility and accountability. That means the top management is totally accountable for this aspect. So the top management has to bear this responsibility and provide suitable environment to the people working within the organization, and even those who are not belonging to the organization but happen to be available at the place of work, and the visitors as well. Now B is ensuring that the occupational health and safety policy and related objectives are established and are compatible with the strategic direction of the organization. So the policy and objectives, the occupational health and safety policy has to be provided at the place of work so that everybody can have a look, even including the visitors. They can have a look at our policy and see that we are taking all steps to ensure that the workplace is safe and free of hazards. So the workplace has to be according to what policy the organization lays down, ensuring that the occupational health and safety policy and related objectives. See, the objectives have to be established. The objectives are ingrained in the policy. So they have to be picked up from there, and the objectives have to be planned. There has to be a procedure on that, there has to be a format for planning. So the planning has to be done, and the objectives are always planned for a particular period. And we look back at the same period and try to fix the baseline. And then the target, depending on whatever is our baseline, our target has to show that we are improving. So it has to be on the higher side or on the side of improvement. So the objectives have got to be established as per the policy. The objectives, as I told you, are part of the policy, and those objectives have got to be planned and implemented and reviewed periodically. So this has to be done by the top management. Now we come to point number C, ensuring the integration of the occupational health and safety management system requirement into the organization's business processes. As we have discussed earlier, the various processes within the organization, for example, planning and marketing, purchasing, and design, or it can be any process that we are having, even tendering or customer relationship. So whatever processes we are having within the organization, the system, the occupational health and safety management system, their processes have to be integrated with these processes. That means while we are doing the process for running our organization, we take care of occupational health and safety as well, according to whatever processes we have in place. So ensuring the integration of the occupational health and safety management system requirements into the organization's business processes. So I hope the business processes are clear to you. As I told you, planning is a business process, marketing is a business process, and anything, tendering is a business process. So these things have to be taken care. Now we go to the next requirement, and that is D, ensuring that the resources needed to establish, implement, and maintain and improve the occupational health and safety management system are available. That means the resources are available. The provision of resources is the basic responsibility of the top management. So the top management has to ensure that the resources are made available to the people working within the organization and they are met in all respects. The resources are fully met. And E is communicating the importance of effectiveness of the occupational health and safety management system and conforming to the occupational health and safety management system requirements. So we have to ensure that we follow all the requirements given in the standard and we ensure that the system is effective. That means the system is meeting its purpose. The system is meeting all the requirements effectively. That means without fail. So that has to be ensured by the top management. Now, next point is ensuring that the occupational health and safety management system achieves the intended outcomes. Whatever is the outcome of the occupational health and safety management system, that means having a safe working environment, providing the safety gear to each and every person, training them suitably so that they keep the hazards away and work in a safe manner at their place of work, and they observe all the safety rules and proper guidance is provided every day. Proper briefing has to be given every day. So we have to ensure that the occupational health and safety management system is effective and it achieves the intended outcome of the system. Next is directing and supporting the persons to contribute to the effectiveness, ensuring that the top management has to show their responsibility and leadership in this aspect and ensure that everybody within the organization understands the requirement that the system is effective. And ensuring, next point is ensuring ensuring and promoting continual improvement. Any system, this is a requirement for whether the system is for quality or environment or safety or you have any other system, continual improvement is a requirement for every system. So there has to be continual improvement in whatever system you have in place for ensuring occupational health and safety. Now next is supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership and as it applies to their areas of work. See, the leaders are at every level within the organization. There are leaders amongst the workers, leaders amongst the supervisors, leaders amongst the management. So you have to ensure that the leadership is established at every level. And leaders, who are leaders? Leaders are those who care for others, who take care and ensure that the system runs effectively. So leaders have to take care of others. So this leadership quality has to be ingrained in at every level, and every person must have the responsibility to become a leader. And at some point or the other, they have to demonstrate this quality. Okay, supporting and other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership. So leadership aspect we have considered, and now we go to the next. Next is J, developing, leading and promoting a culture in the organization that supports the intended outcome of the occupational health and safety management system. So that means the culture within the organization. We have to develop a habit in the people so that the entire organization has a culture towards maintaining safety and maintaining ensuring the safety of the people, and not only the people who are working at the workplace, but also the visitors and anybody available at the place of work. So we have to ensure a safe working environment. So we have to develop this, and we have to lead. The organization has to take a lead in this direction. The top management has to take a lead in promoting a culture in the organization that supports the intended outcomes of occupational health and management system. The next point is protecting workers from reprisals when reporting incidents, hazards, risks, and opportunities. See, the workers should be free. They should feel free to come to the management and report anything which they find which is coming in the way of safety at the place of working, and reporting the hazards and risks and opportunities. And there should be an environment in which nobody acts against the workers. There are no reprisals. That means people are ensuring that the workers are free to express their ideas, and nobody is trying to curb this tendency. And that means the workers are protected from any reprisals. That means nobody should be taking any action against them when reporting the incidents, hazards, risks, and opportunities to the appropriate management for taking action. And next is ensuring the organization establishes and implements a process for consultation and participation of workers. See, in this ISO 45001, consultation and participation of workers, a lot of emphasis is given on this aspect, and we have to ensure that we establish a process for ensuring this aspect, and the participation of workers and their representatives is ensured. So we have to ensure that we have a process in this aspect, a procedure, and consultation and participation of workers is implemented truthfully within the organization. Next clause is M, supporting the establishment and functioning of the health and safety committees. See, the health and safety committees have to be formed, and periodically they should be reporting to the top management and interacting with the top management for the benefit of the workers. So health and safety committees have got to be formed, in which there can be representatives from the supervisors, a top management representative can be there, and workers representatives. So even if top management representative is not there, at least somebody from the supervisors level is part of that committee, so that they can put up the entire, whatever is the requirement from the side of the workers to the management in a proper manner. And if workers themselves are educated enough for doing this job, okay, well, they can do it. And in that case, it is totally the workers who have the health and safety committees participation, and they carry out all the work by themselves. And there is a note below this which says, reference to business in this document can be interpreted broadly to mean those activities that are core to the purpose of the organization's existence. So business means whatever is the products and services which the organization is dealing with, and dealings in that respect, they are the business of the organization. So business has to be understood in a correct manner in this. Now you see, at the end of this standard, there is an annexure A, and there is a lot of guidance given in that, and I recommend that you go through that guidance given in annexure A, and I'll read out quickly to you. I have covered almost all the points, but still, if you go through the guidance, that is helpful. Leadership and commitment from the organization's top management, including awareness responsiveness, active support, and feedback are critical to the success of the occupational health and safety management system and achievement of its intended outcomes. Therefore, the top management has a specific responsibility for which they need to be personally involved or which they need to direct. So, the top management has to take direct interest in this aspect, and a culture that supports an organization's occupational health and safety management system is largely determined by the top management and is the product of individual and group values, attitudes, managerial practices, perceptions, competencies, and patterns of activities that determine the commitment to and the style and proficiency of its occupational health and safety management system. It is characterized by, but not limited to, active participation of workers, cooperation and communication founded on mutual trust, shared perceptions of the importance of occupational health and safety management system, by active involvement in detection of occupational health and safety opportunities, and confidence in the effectiveness of preventive and protective measures. So definitely this confidence has to be imbibed by the top management, the workers and supervisors. An important way top management demonstrates leadership is by encouraging workers to report the incidents, hazards, risks, and opportunities, and by protecting the workers against the reprisals so that nobody takes actions against that, such as the threat of dismissal or disciplinary action when they do so. So the supervisors or the management who are directly responsible for their working, they do not threaten them with any action. So the workers should feel free to come to the management and report any incidents or hazards or risks or any opportunities. So this kind of environment has to be created by the top management. So I hope you have understood the requirement given in this clause clearly and fully. And if there is anything which is not clear to you, please give your comment below this video and I'll make it clear to you. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that as and when I load my videos, they will reach you well in time and you are able to see them immediately. And if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like. I'll feel very happy if you do so, and also share my videos with your friends and colleagues. So thank you very much for watching my videos and see you again on next Sunday. Bye.